Let's get ready to rumble. Welcome to Joe Jackers with Bob and TC on IntellectualRadio.com. Again, that's IntellectualRadio.com. I am your host, B.O.B. Bob, but I will go by the name of Robert Lee Orr Jr. if you insist on being formal. As always, from the south side of Chicago, Illinois, let's give it up for my main man, Martise TC Wash Senior.
What's up, Bob? How you doing, man?
What's up, brother? Happy holidays to you. Independence Day.
You too.
Some people go off 4th of July. Some people say Independence Day. They are the same, pretty much.
Yeah.
It depends on the perspective, angle you're coming from.
You get the fireworks, doing anything with the fireworks?
I don't know. I never really do.
I
never really do anything with fireworks. They never really floated my boat. You know, they don't make me just want to. They never really make me want to, do anything like that. And I don't like fireworks, or I don't like New Year's. So, at New Year's when people shoot guns. So I don't know if I'm a big old teddy bear like that, but I don't like it.
Why not?
Because it just make me nervous, man.
Okay.
You get too many wild noises at one time. You're trying to chill out, relax with your toes out. Me and Earl Winfrey, we like our toes out during the summer. So you got your toes out and then hear all this noise coming. Anyway, man, it's going too far, man.
Yeah, you are.
I'm going too far.
Right.
But anyway, man, how was your week? Interesting?
Yeah, man, it was all good. It's all good. I'm getting over the fact they got rid of Derrick Rose.
That's still on your mind, huh?
Yeah, that was very emotional to me.
Chicago felt it, man. And he looked like he was recruiting everybody over there to New York.
I mean, you don't have to recruit your friends.
Yeah, but all his friends got some kind of medical issues, like Eric Gordon and it's good he's recruiting all of the people that's hurt.
Eric Gordon went to somewhere. Where you go?
I don't know where he went.
Yeah, I'll find out later on.
Anyway, we got a special guest today. It's a writer. She's a writer. She's a publisher. Where you from? Lansing, Illinois, right?
Illinois.
From Lansing, Illinois. Let's give it up for our token white friend for today, Melanie Johnsma. What's up, Melanie? How you doing?
I'm here to represent.
Now, see, y'all don't know y'all want to. Melanie is somebody who I really admire a lot of, because Melanie is over the Common Grounds Challenge at our church, or the Common Ground. It's called Common Grounds Ministry at the church, right? Can you tell us about that? Tell everybody about that.
Well, we got an hour, right?
Yeah, right.
Because it's kind of a long story.
Go ahead, sure, we got time.
This started about, I think the first time we did it was 8 years ago at Living Springs. And we called it Breakfast Club. And we got the idea from some group in Chicago. And they came out and did a training. And they gave us some materials. And I think they were expecting, they had done these trainings before. And I think they were expecting maybe 10 or 12 people to show up. And they arrived for the training, and we had 100 people who had signed up for this program at Living Springs. So they were kind of overwhelmed, and we may have driven them out of business because we really didn't see them much after that. And they used to have a website, and I can't find that anymore. But they gave us the materials that they had, and we built on that. We adjusted it for our own setting, and the concept of the program is you match up people of different races, and they meet once a month on their own, and they can have breakfast or lunch or dinner or go out for coffee or whatever. And we gave them a sheet of questions each month, and they're supposed to discuss these questions. And the questions are about race and just different experiences. And the idea was, over the course of a year, for these two people of different races to build a friendship.
You connect us 6 degrees of separation, so to speak. Your dad, our dad, Alan, is my Common Ground partner challenge, my Common Ground partner every month. So we go out to a restaurant and we go out and we have some extraordinarily great conversations because the dad is 65 years old, or okay, maybe 75.
He's 75.
Yeah, maybe 75. But he so we coming from two totally different perspectives of how we saw the world, just generationally. So, that's it's been interesting learning from Alan, different perspectives about, growing up in Lansing, Illinois. So, but one of the questions apply to you today. One of the questions, for example, was like, when was the first time you were in a room with all just you and it was all other people of another race? Is this the first time you was ever in a room, in a basement with three only all black people?
Today?
Yeah, this is the first.
Today is not my first time, no.
Describe the first time though. You too, TC, when you get a chance. Okay. If it applied to you.
All right.
Go ahead.
I don't remember the first time, but I can tell you about a time with my first common ground partner.
Okay.
Her name was Ada, black woman, and she invited me to a pancake breakfast at her church. She goes to Living Springs, but I think this was her mother's church or the church she grew up in Chicago. And it was a Saturday morning, and I was the only white person there. And it was it was interesting because I knew Ada and we were good friends, and I didn't feel like I was in any danger or anything, but I could tell that they were wondering why I was there. It was like a curiosity. And what Ada and I talked about after that was how being white, when you're the only white person in a room, you still have kind of power. And if you're the only black person in a room, you're probably feeling much less safe. Like anything could happen, but because I'm white, I carry my power with me. It's
called privilege, the power of privilege.
The white privilege.
The white privilege. Go ahead, TC.
Wait. Now I'm trying to.
We got this thing called putting the gloves on the show. So that means when we want to throw some real hard questions, we put the gloves on. But I think this subject alone, the gloves are already on. I think we could really navigate through a real responsible conversation on race because we do it.
We do it
all the time. Go ahead, TC. I'm listening.
Nah, I'm just. Can you just explain what you mean by power first before I respond to ask my question? I want to be clear. I got you. I understand you. That's all. I just want to make sure I understand you. What do you mean you said you still had the power when you was the only white person in the room?
I think the assumptions people make about white people are different from the assumptions people make about black people.
Many of the whites are always kind of like reverenced or respected.
We get the benefit of the doubt.
You know what? That's funny. Because it's funny because I often tell a lot of some of the white friends that I have. I always say, you'll be safer walking through an all black community than I would if they don't know me. If I was to walk through an all black community, white people will actually be safer walking through that community than I would, because they will look at the white person like, oh man, what's up with this white dude? This a tough white dude. This is a tough white dude, as opposed to the black dude that's walking through the community. It's like you'll be looking, we get into that thing your brother was talking about last week about what you looking at? Why are you looking at me? They'll immediately zoom in on that in a different way because they expect me to know I ain't supposed to be looking at them in no certain kind of way. But the white people tend to get a pass in those black communities. Would you agree or disagree with that?
Depending what neighborhood you're in. Right. They go in.
So you think some neighborhoods will have white people on the run, huh?
Yeah, well, they won't. They don't have no chance.
You think so?
Yes.
I've never seen that in black communities.
Yes. There's some neighborhoods where they will have no chance. They come down that block. Because automatically the first thing I'm thinking is you the police. There's white male walking down the block. See the police.
Right. See, that's what she's saying. See, that's what you see the perception. You give the white person a sense of empowerment, and you empower them. you say, oh man, that must be the police.
So they think
That sounds strong. That's my point. That's to my point.
But what you missing though?
Okay.
Then no, that's not the police. So now we're trying to see, is he trying to buy any drugs or something? What are you doing in here?
Mm-hmm.
If you're not doing neither one of those, he in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
He's in trouble.
So he in trouble.
He in trouble.
That right. That way. Look, you got to filter him out though. Look
That's
how you got to filter
but
him
at the
out.
same time, if you walk through, if a black guy walk through a neighborhood you're not supposed to, they first stop and look and they analyze him too. They go through a series of questions also now, and they just get him. It don't be like that.
But we don't first think he's the police.
No, it won't think that.
Yeah.
We start with, he must be in trouble. He doesn't belong here.
That's the perception of a lot of whites in our community.
No,
I mean, in those
the
communities,
black guy in a white community.
In a white community,
We would start by thinking he's obviously lost, or he's on drugs, or he's up to no good.
So you think
he doesn't get any benefit of the doubt?
So do he get profiled a little bit?
Oh yeah,
she's automatically.
Yeah,
that's the first
automatically. He
thing.
automatically gets profiled, right? Is that fair or unfair?
it's probably not fair. I think. I wonder if it's the kind of thing that becomes true. You just start reinforcing that stereotype, and then people start living up to it because that's all they hear. That's the assumption they know people are making, and then everything you do only reinforces that stereotype, and the deeper you get into it, the harder it is to get out of it.
Since you've been doing Common Grounds,
Wait.
Go ahead, TC.
No. I got a question. Because we don't have, right now you're guests, so we polite and everything.
Pleasantries.
We got all of that the way. We finna be
Appreciate that.
right. We finna be for real right now. So we can't speak for every other neighborhood or nobody. Right now, you speaking for them. So what's your assumption? If you see a black guy in your neighborhood, what's your assumption?
That is an interesting question. I live in a neighborhood that is fairly diverse. But if it's black kids who are walking through, black teens, I have a different assumption about them than I probably would about an older black person.
Wow.
So where's your assumption of black teen? I mean, we're going to put it out there. We're going to get this. We're going to have a conversation.
I'm going to ask some questions. I'm going to ask some pretty direct, too. Just like that. Like,
right.
Anyway, that's appreciated. I could appreciate that. We can identify with that. Go ahead, TZ.
So I just want to know, like, with the younger you, what would your first assumption be? You see like you said, the younger one.
I wonder where they're going because, well, I should tell you, I live in a 55 plus community. So there aren't a lot of young people there, but we live next to this apartment building. And so there is some traffic, people cutting through to get to the apartment building. So I usually, because I have Common Ground as an experience and I'm, trying to be enlightened and everything, I intentionally try not to make assumptions, but I do wonder what my neighbors are thinking because I hear from my neighbors and they are not shy about making assumptions. So, they're nervous about these young black men walking through the neighborhood and, do I have to make sure my doors are bolted and my window shades are drawn? Is this dangerous? Do I need to watch out? And I don't know if this is just, I've only lived there a couple of years, so I don't know if this is just starting recently and now everybody's getting on high alert, or has this always happened and this is always the conversation? I don't know if it's getting worse or if people are just noticing it now or if this is what old people always say about young people.
So whose responsibility is it in a white community, just saying a white community, whose responsibility is it to stand up against the behavior that comes from those stereotypes or the actions that comes from those stereotypes? So is it anybody in the white community's responsibility to to make sure that there are no actions to go out with those stereotypes. Do you understand the question I'm asking?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do consider it my responsibility. I don't know. I don't always know what I can do to change people's minds or to prevent something from happening. Nothing's happened yet. But I try to make a point of saying, well, did they say anything threatening? Why do you feel the way you do? I ask questions, or I try to make people say specifically, why do you have this reaction when you see these people? Is it because they're black? Is it because they're young? Is it because their butts are hanging out of their pants? What is the thing that's making you afraid? Have they done something to you before that you're reacting to, or is this just what you assume? And so, sometimes I'll respond as, well, I'm sure they were just trying to find the fastest way home. They probably live in those apartments. What's the big deal if they cut through? They aren't doing anything. They're not being loud. They're just, is this a problem? Why is this a problem? Let's talk about it. And that's a small thing, and I don't know if that makes a difference or not. Am I going to change the world just by questioning people's assumptions? I don't know, but sometimes it feels like the only thing I can do.
But you are changing the world about the work you're doing in Common Ground, so that's much appreciated. Because, I know a lot of white people feel like they put on a hot seat when they answer questions, and I know they cannot answer for all of the white community the same way we can't answer for all of the black community every time we talking. So I really commend you for your courage of being able to still be open even on your off time from off of me Common Ground or church, just left church, and you got to come over here and answer the why am I
really believe this stuff.
You really believe it. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna continue this conversation on the other side of the break. The call-in number is 708-223-8953. Again, the call-in number is 708-223-8953. You're here in Jaw Jacking with Bob and TC and Miss Melanie Johnsma. Welcome back to Jaw Jackers with Bob and TC on IntellectualRadio.com. Here with our special guest, Miss Melanie Johnsma. What is your official title that you like to go by? Writer, publisher, common grounder.
Token white person.
Oh, the token white person. She liked the token white person. See, y'all thought I was being stereotypical, but I go find these white people that understand my humor. See, this is the token white person. That's what.
TWP.
Wow.
Go ahead. You had a question for TC. You said, "Can I ask you a question during break?" You threw your fingers in the air like, "Can I ask you a question during break?"
Yeah, I like your question about, if there's anything I do. I'm wondering if there's anything I should do when I hear. It's mostly when I hear potential racism, and it's not always overt. There's a lot of code that white people use to talk about black people or.
Yeah, you have to tell us about this code. Go ahead, finish the question, Tori. You got to tell us about this code.
So what's the right way for me to respond? A lot of times I feel like there's no way I'm going to change somebody's mind. If somebody's 80 years old and has been afraid of black people all her life, how could I change her mind at this point? And yet I have black friends. I have relationships that I don't want to disrespect. I want to honor my friends, and I want to stand up when I can, but I don't always know the right way to do that.
Mm.
So
what advice do you have for me?
Well, I mean, like you said, they're 80 years old, and they probably come from a time where that was allowed. That was the
colored people,
right? They from that era, so that's really not much you can even say to them, I feel. But as long as you continue to wear it on your chest that what you not with, and you don't agree with that, then that's the only thing you really can do. You can't make no one else change their mind. I mean, especially from that era. You know, I don't see no way you could. I don't see it.
So do you think it would it help matters at all if I say, that's kind of racist when you say that? Is there a nice way to?
So you talking about to a white person, to another white person?
But I mean, don't you think they know? I mean,
no.
They know.
I think some white people think racism is only burning crosses and.
Oh, the Klan way.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm not from that community, so I really don't know. But I just think if you automatically assume something that's straight negative about somebody, and you know what you're doing, unless their brain not working all the way, but they functioning and they're human, they know what it is. They've been around, especially a certain age. They knew about the Martin Luther King speeches, the race, civil rights movements. They've been 80-some years old. They've been a part of that, so they know what they're saying.
So what part of the privilege allows, a white person who's speaking racially or being racist, allow them, how do they know who to talk to amongst whites? I mean, how do they know? Because I know what you call extreme pro-black people. Like, I know if I say something, negative to this black person, they're going to be gung-ho with it. But I know if I say something to Earl, he may not take it the same way. He may, hey man, we don't bring that around here. So I'm saying, so don't a lot of white people know who to bring it to, who to bring that type of talk to?
I think there's probably a general assumption that any white person is gonna
be okay with it.
Yeah.
Be okay with it. And why is that? Why is it an automatic? That's the privilege part we're talking about. Why is it that the white people automatically know you'll be all right with this little racial comment, and business as usual goes on? Because you asked him what can he do? What do you think you can do? You asked him that, right? So why do the white people, the police officer who's standing on the side watching his buddy beat up a black cop, why, if he's not racist, why do he allow it? Why don't he instinctively, physically jump in and stop it? Because he don't believe in that the same way he would instinctively jump in and stop his buddy officer beating up an old white person. Why don't he? Because he don't believe in that. Why isn't that the behavior amongst the whites concerning racism or concerning things of that nature? That's what I'm curious about.
There's probably, at some level, I think we probably think it's true that black people are somehow less deserving, less intelligent, less educated. And that's what I mean about the assumptions we make. You don't get the benefit of the doubt because the default black person is whatever the stereotype is less educated, is less wealthy, is is angry, perhaps. And so if you're starting from that default, then you got to work twice as hard to get out of that stereotype, to prove me that you're something else. And it's much easier for us to make that blanket assumption about all of you.
Mm.
And we're afraid.
Well, let's go with a few stereotypes. Serial killers. Are they white or black?
Right, stereotypical.
Let's go to stereotypes. Like, it's a serial killer. When I think of a serial killer, let me see. I'm thinking of somebody. Who would it be? White, black? I wonder. Like, who would it be?
Think of a white person immediately.
You think of a white person immediately. Is it true or is it not true? I don't know. But that's what you automatically think of, because say John Wayne Gacy, right? He looks exactly like Carol O'Connor to me. The one. They look exactly alike. I wouldn't be able to tell them apart, unless you pull their resume and what they've done out. Jack Tripper and Ted Bundy. They look exactly alike. It look like they could be brothers. I wouldn't know.
We all look alike to you, don't we?
I'm just saying. I'm just using examples. Their demeanors look alike. Ted Bundy was a lawyer, right? Wasn't he a lawyer? Or he defended himself in court?
He defended
himself. But again, a lot of the blacks get the stereotypes. A lot of us look alike. Chris Rock and Chris Tucker. You don't know which one is which until you see them, right? I'm just curious to know where do we go with these stereotypes? I mean, in a sense that some truism in some of the stereotypes. I don't know how to identify how to stop it though, from it making impact on other people's lives. It's making an impact when those stereotypes show up in the form of somebody trying to get a loan, open a business.
Right.
Throughout our society, it's one thing we doing this outreach toward each other, but how else do we, have an impact on stopping the impact of those stereotypes? Like when you're saying when it comes to economic opportunity, somebody getting a job without legislating them to the point where it feels like it brings resentment to another race. Once you legislate and say, well, you can go to college, without, how do we do that? How do we tackle that issue? And I don't
know why the black-white thing, the black stereotype is so much more long-lasting. I mean, white people have stereotypes about everyone, Chinese and Hispanics and Indians, there's all these stereotypes, but the ones about blacks seem the most oppressive. And I don't know why, if it's because of the whole slavery and economics, the whole country was built on slavery. So it's part of our DNA. And all of our relationships with other races have not had that much
toxicity.
Well, I mean, this is my opinion. It's not an opinion of Intellectual Radio, nowhere at all. This is not Bob's opinion, not Jaw Jacking opinion. This is my opinion. It's been passed down because if you look out through the other races, they was back when they was trying to develop the perfect race, whatever the case, they was able to take the Indians out sexually. They was able to wipe them away. They couldn't wipe us away. They couldn't, so we became a threat because physically they knew they couldn't get us. Let's just be real. So that's why they beat you so bad, to make an example out of anybody else that decides to run up on one of them. The whips and the thing they received was more show and tell, so everybody else watching can see. So they're whooping real hard, real bad. So the next person won't have enough heart to jump up and get at them. Not just we want to speak from the black and the white thing. Then also, let's be real, the white man know what they can't do to us. So that's why the black man is a threat, because if we get in your wife or in your daughter, in your family, then that black blood is now part of your blood, and they don't want that blood to mix. Let's just be real, they can't take us away. That's why they don't want their daughters with a black man, because she can have a white baby today, but that baby grandbaby come out black. So now once they couldn't take our blood away, they couldn't destroy us, so we're a threat to them. So the best way to do a threat is because we wasn't allowed to read. We wasn't allowed to write or learn. So they teach us about this Jesus. They teach us about this Christianity thing. Then hold us back, in my opinion. Then they call it
religion.
religion.
You think
Yes,
religion holds you
yes.
back?
I do believe in God. I'm not an atheist and all that, but you're gonna have to convince me a little bit harder that we were slaves supposed to listen to their masters and things like that nature that's in the Bible. I don't. You're not the God. You're not even finna make me believe that. And if you think about the game that was brought down on us at first, since we was not allowed to read, not allowed to learn, we was taught all these false stories. He was white, blue eyes, all these things was told to us. But then now we was able to get educated, get it to read, and we do our own investigation. We found all the flaws and all the teachings that they put down on us. Let's just be honest, you know. So we're a threat in so many ways because, in my opinion, if we as a race stood up and can come together, I mean, it would be a whole. That's the worst. That's the number one thing. Not you per se, but the whites don't want that. White America don't want us together. There's a reason why.
Why
There's
is
a
that?
reason why. Why you think they didn't make they? Why you think they didn't go out there and pick cotton and build roads? They was not able to. They weren't able to do it like that.
They have free labor.
Free labor, and that fact, free labor, we were strong. Bugs. They wasn't even
You
brilliant.
really are the superior race.
In my opinion, yes, we the chosen people. That's why they brought us over here and tried to take and twist it, a reality from us. We was the chosen people. Not you per se, but y'all was not the chosen people. Y'all came over and took from what y'all saw our civilization was over there and created and turned y'all world over here and made like you was the one in the Bible. And it all comes out. You know, Moses wasn't white, but all the stories, he's white.
Yeah, when you think of Moses, you do think of Charleston
Heston. Let's be real.
Oh,
Cleopatra is white. You guys stop playing. They ain't out there hot. They always the game in Egypt. Let's be real. Africa is black over there. It's the reason why you guys need suntan lotion going in the sun, and we don't. So have you the chosen people if you can't even stand in the sun? Come on, man. Let's be real.
So do you think you will rise up one day?
No, because divides what they do to use the money and ways to keep us divided. Every time we have a way, we could have a way. It's real easy. Instead of everybody believing that fake Illuminati stuff and keeping our blacks away from entertainment, away from ways to get their own, they divide us. Every time there's a comedian that make one do something and divide us. But man, look at all the talent we have. We ever did come together, which will not happen. It won't happen.
Then let's go into her question. Let's go to her question a little more.
Okay.
In regards. So basically, it'd be different if we was in charge. How would they get
Talk
in?
about that world.
If
it's black, if it was reversed, I mean, we wouldn't be letting them get no economic opportunity either. Then would you? Based on that, I mean, why would we?
Let's be real for a minute, Bob. That's why you got to separate the facts from the game and religion. We would never treat them like that because we was creative. We was a certain way. They were barbaric. That was not our nature. So it wouldn't have been. I'm not saying they wouldn't have people working because I'm not. But what you all did, not the white race did over here to our people.
Melanie, what y'all did?
I'm sorry. I do not mean that. I mean like for real. 100%. Like the white race. Period. What they did was different. Slavery was different. It was more than just making them dig roads, pick cotton. What they did was keeping the black family away from each other. Man make a baby, can never see it no more. The things they did that was passed down to us, we didn't even come from that kind of thoughts. I don't even believe it would have been slavery. We was the one on top. It wouldn't have been like that. It wouldn't have been the reverse. White people have been the slaves, and we'd been beating y'all and take y'all. It wouldn't have been like that.
There's a lot of slaves in Africa, though. There was a lot of slave trade going on in Africa.
There's a lot of slave trade going on, but what I'm saying what I mean, Bob, is this. I'm not saying
it
wouldn't have been. We wouldn't have took them over here and completely just, in my opinion.
But we don't know that.
That's what I say. It's my opinion. You don't know if it would. This is my opinion.
I can't you go ahead.
It's not a fact. This is my opinion. Right. That's all. I mean, I'm just being realistic, Bob. What I'm saying, when And what you do, I want to address what you just said right there too, because I do not like when people do that. But
Yeah,
so
sure.
let's address this. What do you mean that the caveat, it was a slavery over there too? No, it was a whole different ball game what they did across these seas to what was going on in the so-called African slave trade. When they slave, it was a whole different ball game. Those two is not even the same thing.
Okay,
I'm just in my opinion.
okay.
So not to say,
The reason why I said that is the
yeah,
reason why I said that because I'm a common ground participant myself. So I have to believe in identifying people by according to their heart. So I believe
right,
in this multicultural movement thing that we're involved in, so to speak, because I don't believe that everybody in existence participated in racism. I know I'm not naive enough to not understand that they are privileged to benefit from it, but you got people that's, so I don't think of it in almost in a in what you will call, it's hard to be able to think of it in a way where you're looking at the person that's in front of you right now and
uh-huh.
you're looking at their upbringing and how they rose up in their life to think that they were connected to the malice part of slavery. So it's hard, you cannot put them together, even though the whites benefited from the privilege of being established. Now that part is where I jump in the argument to try to understand from the whites, how can you not say you benefited from this the way it was established? So that's my angle. That's my objective. So do we believe in reparations? And what does reparations look like? Do it look like you just take a lump sum of money and hand it to us? Do it look like economic, educational? What is reparation? What would it look like, and how would the most people benefit from reparations in the current today age, as opposed to taking all of the resentment and all of the anger from slavery and saying you owe us, from as if they did it to us, the ones that's in existence, if they did it to us. Because what you said,
They did do it
no,
to us.
this is what I'm saying. What you said though, is if, just say, if we would have benefited from, slavery in a certain sense, and we had the money and the power or whatever, we had it, and here I am, generation number 17 after my grandfather and all of them did slavery or whatever. And I'm looking at this current day, you looking at me right now telling me I owe you something. And it's like I'm like, I don't even listen to my parents. I don't even go to school. I don't do none of what they telling me to do. I just know we wealthy because some of my great granddaddy Rothschild do. Now I get the point of all of those millionaires that was those people that was established businesses uh, uh, through slave trade and just kept on passing the wealth down the generation. But I'm saying I just don't like to carry the resentment inside of myself as if there's been it was stagnant. There's no progression. There's no opportunity here for the current day humans that's on the earth. There's opportunity. There's still going to be some people that fall by the wayside.
But
Go ahead.
but maybe look at slavery different,
Yeah.
because I don't have no resentment toward nobody.
Yeah.
We went to Morgan Park. We got white friends. Let's be real. So it's like we had no resent toward nobody.
Mhm.
But to me, slavery that economically is not even where I look at slavery. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than what they had to work for free and dig. Slavery also would destroy the whole kind of fiber of the black man role in his life with his kids. They did more than just took money from us and got free labor. It was, to me, I look at slavery much bigger and deeper than that. Because slavery also was the reason why, because I believe in spirits. Like we talk, I believe we don't, if it's not no spirit keeping us alive, then all I gotta do is put blood in us. And we should be able to get up. I lose all my blood, get the same type, pour back in my body. I should be able to get up. No, it's the spirit within us that's living within us. And what we've been through right now is a direct effect of slavery. The role the black man's supposed to have with his son. We don't raised with even slave was, we weren't even allowed. It was deep. They wouldn't allow us to be around our kids. And that part I'm saying is like, when everybody reparations, that ain't, it ain't about no money. What we need to acknowledge, it's a reason why the black family ain't strong, or why the black woman want to be so dominant. And it's a reason why, because that's how we was bred from generation to generation to generation. That's how we was bred. We was bred not to be in our kids' life through slavery. It tore us down way more than economically and who benefited from it. It's a whole different ballgame. I look at when you look at the perfect example, Adam LaRoche and his son. He quit baseball because his son can have a dugout next to him. He get a praise. Good father. Derrick Rose, I'm gonna wait for I make sure I'm not gonna run out there and play too fast on my knees. Cause I got a kid. I won't be able to walk and be with my kid. He get vilified.
Yeah, there's no dispute in me based off of what you're saying. I guess the question that I would have is, when do we go from being
when it's acknowledged, Bob?
Like,
let's be real.
That's okay. The question is how do it need to be acknowledged? That's the question. How specifically does
what
it
I'm
need to be
saying
acknowledged?
is, if you could write a book.
Let me ask the question.
Okay.
From the time when it comes from being a victim to, do you go from being a victim to being somebody? Is entitlement a part of being a victim, or when do the personal responsibilities start? That's the question I'm asking.
This is when responsibility starts, Bob, when the person who did it acknowledge what they've done.
And how do they need to acknowledge what they've done?
First of all, how do they do it?
No,
I'm not even talking about what you're gonna give somebody.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, when you made these books and telling everybody about Christopher Columbus, knowing that ain't even what it is. When you teaching us some kids and Thanksgiving, talking about they having bringing turkeys and all corn, and it wasn't none of that. That wasn't true. So if you can write books and all that, now it's time to teach the kids what we did to y'all. It's a reason why. It's a reason why we looked upon negative. It's a reason why we're negatively stereotyped. But until that acknowledge, all we doing is going off as the angry black man, and you always want to blame the man for everything. That's how you get looked upon when it's the so-called the man did it. But if we be real and acknowledge what really happened to us, the reason why certain things be this way, then you could start. They don't want to accept responsibility of nothing they did. We supposed to look past like it never happened. It been a long time ago now. You telling me you can't get a job now? But no. You affected more than that. You affected everything. It ain't just by financial. We can go to school, get education, get a job. We're allowed to do that. But what you did in our neighborhoods, what you systematically did to us, need to be known. Then we can try to get past it. But we always blame it on the man, or we so-called just pro-black now, and why I got to be a black and white thing. It's always a reason to separate us from seeing what it is. If I don't acknowledge the fact that I disrespected you, I don't even acknowledge I did it. How we gonna get somewhere?
That's a good question.
Let's be real. It got to be acknowledged.
Most black people know that? Do they?
No, because think about it, always, I believe in the spirits, and I think the spirit got in me, and I love the spirit that I'll decide to listen to. Because our race equate getting back financially, because they took everything from us. We never had nothing. So we finally get money. We want to buy a car. We want to buy the chain. We want to buy this. And they look at us like, white people get money, they save. No, they already had all those things before. Let's be real for a minute. Mm-hmm. They made the car. Mm-hmm. They created the car. We weren't even allowed to work or read. So how we gonna be able to afford to get one? So when you finally get a chance to get one, it looked negative on us when we try to spend our money. White people save money. They don't do that. No. They about 350. Go look at them homes up in Frankfurt. 500,000, 700,000. Oh, they spend. Go to Orland Mall. Go to the mall. White people in there spending all the time too. But when we do it, it's a problem. Just think about the stereotype on that. Just be real. Soon black people get some money, we don't know how to do it. We can't even hold it. We want to go give it right back to them. You giving it right back, give it right back. But then I go to Orland Mall up there on the ground and walking through it. I'm like, who don't shop? Who don't spend money?
So who don't spend a little change?
Let's be real. But that's what's put out about. And the reason why it need to be the real problem need to be addressed, because this is what's been put out there by us. Period. No matter what we do, they found it's a way to make it look negative.
Tell white people out there what they need to learn about how they need to respond right now. You look there in that camera and you
All I
tell
ask is
white
this.
people
All I ask is
what
this.
they need to do to fix this right now. What do white people need
Ain't
to
nothing they
do?
could do to fix, but what they could do is just be realistic for a minute. They have a son they love. They have a daughter they love, a wife they love, a mother they love. Why not just treat, when you see somebody, give them the same courtesy you get other people you love? That's all it's about, respecting people. You know, she said earlier, you know, pants sagging down, you know. I see white boys, they pants sagging down, you know. But I don't think he finna come in here and try to break in my crib. I might don't like their fashion decision. But that mean they finna, I gotta lock the windows because they drawers showing? See, that's a stereotype. You know, and let's be real. Don't tell me you ain't never seen Tommy with his pants hanging down. I bet right. You ain't running lock your windows then. You know, let's be yeah. That's that token, right? Yeah, Tommy, right? But he won't be that. So it's more than just the pants sagging. It's more than that. All that. It's actually what's been passed down about us, so it's automatic believed by us because it's been taught. That's how we were. It was passed down for a minute through families, and depending where they live in the south and the north, it depending where they fell. But just think about it, been passed down. Even if they not one at all, they self don't probably believe in the views. They understand why the other ones do. That's why they still associate with them.
So do you think it's more important for white people to acknowledge these non-financial but emotional and spiritual effects of this heritage of slavery, or for black people to recognize this is why our families are broken, or it's not just, it goes back a long ways. We're still dealing with these emotional, it's not the finances, it's not the economy. We have a reason for the way we are, and let's change that because those conditions have changed now. What can we do to, I mean, how can white people help and how can black people help?
First of all, black people can help, and us. And we ready to time and quit being what always it's been passed down to us. Also, that's going off what other people say. You know, wait till the pastor make his little thing all 7 days, come talk to you, get you riled up, pay your money, and go home, and you feel like you didn't call a blessing. Nah, that's not what it is. Because they teaching you the same thing that the Klan believed in. Mm-hmm. They teach you the same thing that the slave master believed in. So in my mind, there's no way I'm going up in there listening to none of that. Now I will get a relationship with the Lord, Father, the Son, and the Spirit. Yes, I will. But I'm not saying no Jesus. I'm not saying nothing that y'all done put on us, because let's be real. That's not what it is. It's not what it is. So I feel for the black people to even be strong, they need to realize what's really going on out here. The religion was from us. Let's be real, the original people. That's where it came from. They brought in turn, changed it to their benefit. It was a reason why they made them white. It's a reason why everything was looked that way, because they know it's real, but that wasn't for them. And they brought the Bible because we was never supposed to read, so they didn't have time to make. They're gonna be smart enough to realize we wasn't in Africa. We wasn't a race. We couldn't have been, because you can't even get in the sun long enough. So you couldn't have been on that continent like that. Okay? So if we as black people understand what we're supposed to do and quit being followers, that's our problem. We followers because that's how we was raised, from ancestors told what to do, what to listen to. That's how we were. Until we break that cycle and do your own investigation and see what's up. That don't mean I'm right, but look it up yourself. That's all. And as a white person, just be real for a minute. Treat somebody like you want to be treated. That's all. I look at it. To me, it's don't got to be a big old test. We all got parents. We all got family members and friends. Treat everybody like that till they give you a reason to.
Miss Melanie Johnsma. Thanks, Stacey, a lot, man. I really appreciated you today, man.
You speak truth.
Yeah, you speak truth, brother.
Thank you. Look, this is.
Hey, we appreciate it. Now, we appreciate her for coming, having the courage. How can we reach you, Melanie? If somebody wanted to reach Miss Johnsma.
You know, I
Strong
do
woman.
have a website, but there's not a lot of racial stuff on there.
Hey, just period. Just reach you, period.
My website is lifelinespublishing.com,
Okay.
and my contact information is there.
There you
Okay.
go.
Well, we appreciate you for coming on
Well,
today.
thank you for
Welcome
coming
for
on.
being a guest on Sitting in the Hot Seat on Jaw Jackson. I hope
enjoyed
you
it.
come back. Hope you come back.
Yes.
And we may, we'll talk about race again. Anyway, welcome. Thank you, Earl Winfrey on IntellectualRadio.com. This is Bob and TC signing out on Jaw Jackin with Miss Melanie Johnsma. And Alan, sorry for beating up on your daughter today.
Yes. Thank you. She's sweet.